Good morning. 9:31. Stargate. Wednesday, the 23rd of December. Stargate, 23rd of December, 2020. I hope you're all suitably entertained this morning. Lovely to see you. Let's wait for a few of you to pop in. We're going to be talking about fear-mongering this morning. Fear-mongering. We love a bit of fear-mongering. And basically, how to treat the newspapers, the news outlets in general, Kay Burley, all these other things we find ourselves in that really have no major consequence on your life. When was a lot, and you know, are we a Christian nation anymore? Got to be asking that, because if we are a Christian nation, then let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, Christians don't treat each other the way that this world is going. We should not be treating each other like that as good Christians. But anyway, beautiful to see you. Thanks for tuning in. And in a couple of days to the big day in Tier 66. Got to be wearing spacesuits on Christmas Day to be in any form of bubble, now whatever a bubble is. And it's so easy to manipulate. You know, the big screens. Happy days, Aurora Storm. Lovely to see you, darling. Hope you're well. How are you? Good morning, Dave. Hope you're having a wonderful Christmas. I'm having a nice time. I am. I'll always have a nice time. I'm one of them individuals. You know, I just like a nice time. That's what it's all about, isn't it? Hope you're well, Princess. Hope you're well. So, yeah, as a Christian nation, we're supposed to be a Christian nation, right? Christians wouldn't treat each other like this. Christians wouldn't browbeat people. Christians wouldn't have set up a system that bashes us round the head, you know, from energy companies to police. That's not what you do in a Christian country. But we are where we are. Davies coin hunting, the noodleator. Ooh, I'm loving that profile picture. What the hell is a noodleator? Do you sit making noodles all day? I don't know. Hi, how you doing, bruv? Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. So, yeah, you know, they're saying all the ports are blockaded, Dover docks, all this and that. But is it true? Is it true? And, you know, so what if Dover docks are blocked? Loads of stuff comes into this country via other docks. But it just shows you how vulnerable, I guess, we all are and can be, where we're reliant now on all this other stuff coming in from all around the world. Now, we always have been. We're an island nation, but it doesn't mean that we can't do things for ourselves. And this is what we've forgotten. We've forgotten how to do things for ourselves. Okay? What we should be doing is growing our own food. We should be having some buildings built that can grow seasonal fruit and veg all through the year with artificial lighting. Yeah. England suffers this time of year with vitamin D. You know, we don't get much sunlight, but that's not to say that we can't have buildings, big buildings that have artificial daylight that grow and heat, that grow bananas and all that stuff 24/7. Our agricultural system already has the ability to grow veg in water hydroponically. They've been doing all this testing on vegetables and plants all over these years to see how they work, how they don't work. So why have we not done that? Why are we not growing all our own food? Why are we not told all our farmers to say, get out there, grow the stuff our people need? It's a warlike mentality. You know, during the war, people were planting vegetables in railway stations and in their front gardens and in anything they could find. Why? Because they knew they survived on it. Why? And why did they do that in the first instance? Because they were forced into a situation. They would never have done that unless they were forced. There was a war going on. There was starvation. People weren't getting food. Everything was rationed. So what happened? The people during the Second World War, our brothers and sisters during the Second World War, grew their own food because their brains went, we need to eat, food's getting scarce. So they were pushed into they wouldn't have done it otherwise. Wouldn't have done it. They were pushed into that corner. Okay? And then they all started growing their own food. So you were so correct when you stated we've been made Oliver Twist and begging the supermarkets more. Oh, yeah. But look, here's the thing with the supermarkets. I've got friends going around, and this whole country's now descended into an anarchic state because if you've got people in supermarkets not wearing a mask, if you've got people in the supermarkets videoing showing that all these retail outlets like Asda's are shutting up the aisles of the kids' clothes and the toys and the presents and the wrapping paper. First of all, you've got to ask yourself, why is that happening? Because that's temptation. If Asda's are in a situation where they can't sell them particular ranges, what they should do is take them ranges out, stick them out the back, or keep them at their warehouses. And what is deemed essential? I'm pretty sure a jumper is deemed essential, but this is that Oliver Twist thing that we've got going on. No clothes for you peasants, no writing books for you peasants, no Christmas wrapping paper from Asda's for you peasants, but you can buy our frozen chickens and stuff like that. What is that all about? What is that all about? Why put it out on display? And who's making up these rules and putting these barriers in the way and saying, you can't go down there, you can't buy this stuff? How is that affected by a virus? How does buying a jumper or wrapping paper or a writing book, how does that affect a virus? Let me turn that on. That's better. How does that affect a virus? How does a virus affect that? How does it? It doesn't, does it? It doesn't. It's scandalous. So we should be growing our own food. We should have had people in 2016 say, right, we're leaving this European project, so we need to check our vulnerability. What is it we get mainly coming from Europe? We get stinky French cheeses, we get the wines from Spain, this, that, the other. So why not, instead of keep importing all this stuff, why don't we start manufacturing it? Why don't we start setting up? Don't tell me we don't have the technology or the ability to do it. Of course we do. Of course we do. But why not? Why are we not got big buildings with big natural daylight bulbs with heat? Why are we not growing bananas, oranges, all that stuff? And look how easy it would make it on the rest of the world if we did that. We wouldn't have all these lorries bringing all this stuff in, would we? We wouldn't. If we, grew grain all year round in big buildings with artificial light and heat, of course, you could grow crops 24/7, 365 days a year. It don't make sense. The reason they want us in a scarcity situation, they want England, Ireland and Scotland, Wales in a situation where we have to beg the rest of the world for our stuff. Well, we've got to come out of that mentality, ladies and gentlemen. And the media, when was the last time you see something decent on the media? When was the last time you heard a really good, decent, heartfelt, warming story on the media? And whenever you do, when they do them now and again, you get lifted, don't you? You get lifted by courageous people doing courageous things, And what it does, it makes you feel good. But mainly all this stuff that you get on the radio, the media is all doom and gloom. And we're all to believe that everything in this world, in this country, is so complicated that we as menials can't figure it out. And we always need someone in authority to do it for us, to lay the seeds, to do these things. Oh, just sign here, we'll do that for you. Well, we're giving up our freedoms for that, and I'm fed up with it. And we need to take back our own freedoms and our own control. We need people of vision. You can run cars on hydrogen, on water, distilled water. You can go miles and miles and miles on a hydrogen cell. Why are we not doing that? Why are we so dependent on Saudi? And not because we're a begging nation. We've got to stop being a begging nation. Even Gandhi understood the importance of homespun clothes, and he used that mythology to assert people's sovereignty. Absolutely right. We're all sovereign. Sovereignty is a given. Parliament should be working for us, but it's not, is it? It's clearly giving us one of the ribs. Have you seen the COVID relief bill in America? Oh my God. If I was American, I'd be fuming. They're taking the mickey. They are absolutely taking the mickey. If we all listen. Hello, John Taylor. Lovely to see you, mate. Miss your Facebook videos. Yeah, I've got another 22 days on Facebook as a ban of my second 90-day ban. So that would mean I'd have been banned for 180 days this year for sharing a Tommy Robinson post. That was it. Yeah, so I'm done with Facebook. I might add the little comments and that, but no more live feeds on Facebook. I'm done with that nonsense. I'm just done with it. It's a waste of time, and it's an echo chamber. It's all an echo chamber. We're all in an echo chamber, and that's the separation of the wheat and the tares. You know, we have our government now issuing COVID loans. Pay nothing for a year. And then at the end of that year, which is only 365 days, it goes quite quickly. They're going to want that 10, 15, 20, 50 grand back with big interest on it, ladies and gentlemen. So listen, don't never think that these Muppets controlled by Boris Johnson, etc., are nothing ever but a lynch and a hook into you. They're sewing you up all the time. They don't do anything with integrity. They're dishonest. They're criminals. They're absolute criminals. And I don't know if any of you know about a thing called the RICO Act. It's all to do with racketeering, and that's all we have. We have a government of racketeers. They're just racketeering. Look at me. Look. Oh, I need a haircut. The UK weather also controlled due colder January 2021. Well, it's actually very mild here at the moment. Very, very mild. England as a sovereign Lord Christ, we are a sovereign people. Absolutely. Bang on. And this is what I'm talking about, a Christian nation. You know, at the top of my hill, I have a church. It's a very old church. The door on the church predates 1066. It was on in 1035. This beautiful, beautiful door. And it is the original door to the church. We're supposed to be a Christian nation. We're supposed to love one another. We're supposed to be turning the other cheek. We're supposed to be doing all these things. But I beg to ask, is there anyone in these big corporations that will, I had Kent Police here swapping out their electric meters and aiding and abetting these people. Are Kent Police Christian? No, they're far from Christian. Because if they were Christian, they wouldn't be doing this, because the Christian doctrine is thou shalt not covet thy neighbour's house, thou shalt not bear false witness against him, and thou shalt not trespass. That's Christianity, right? Christianity is biblical. So we have lip service Christians, people that go through all the acting of eating the bread and drinking the blood, but actually they're not living a Christ-like life. They're not. They're just absolutely not. And Christianity has been hijacked. It is absolutely been hijacked. Queen Victoria quote, "The throne of England belongs to Christ." Yeah, well, it does belong to Christ, and he is coming for his bride at some point. They will not enter a strong man's home unless they bind his hands first, legally binding. Well, there you go. That is it. It's all about legal binding, isn't it? And legal is the undoing of God's law. Whatever happened to universal law? Exactly, Jason. Exactly. This is the thing. These politicians work for the dark side. That's how I see it. They absolutely work for the dark side, because we should be a very self-sufficient in 2020. We should be a very self-sufficient nation. We should have people of vision doing things for people that enhance their lives, that don't detract from their greatness. And we don't have that. We certainly don't have that. And our media outlets are all doom and gloom. Our media outlets are all about spin. Our media outlets are all about whatever it is that's going on out there. That, Brexit, they're now saying that all the docks down at Dover are all blockaded, and the drivers ain't getting food, and it smells like a pissy car park because they're all urinating and doing whatever down that way. But that is an agenda. That's agenda driven, because the government want us all to be in fear now that the food supplies ain't going to continue, and this and that are going to happen, so that we all go, oh, let's forget Brexit, let's just stay in Europe. This is a massive plan. This is a massive foiling of the people. So I just hope that you're all on board. I hope that you're all paying attention. But we're certainly not a Christian nation. We're not. We should be. Love thy neighbour with all thy heart, and you fulfil the royal law. That's what we should. My name only, Christian name only, absolutely right. Yeah, we should be. Want to justify standing? Well, we've all made graven images. If you know, we're going to get a bit scriptural. We've all made graven images. We've all got birth certificates. We've all got driving licenses. That's a graven image. We've all made graven images. So we were born to the world, and then 5 days, 2 weeks later, your parents went and registered you. That's the birth. Okay, so you was born to this world, and then you were birthed. Some people were birthed on the same day, no doubt, because the parents can't wait to race down there and give away their property. And then the ironic part about it is the state write to the parents for 7 years after, especially with boys, and they address them as Master. You know, Master David. I can remember as a kid, come here, Master David. What's up? Don't want to. You know, I was a feisty little fucker, and but then after 7, I can remember thinking, why are they not calling me Master David no more? You remember Master David? You all kids call your kids, didn't you, before the age of 7, Master? So you know, it's we all got swindled, but once and then you'll get offered the keys at 21 again. That's why all your birthday cards have got keys on. You all get offered the keys to the kingdom again at 21, but because we didn't take back dominion, and that's what all these keys at 21 and 18 are all about. 18's preparing you to get ready. They're giving you the keys to the kingdom, but we failed to pay attention. And once we're after 21, we're lost forever until we do a few things. And I did say yesterday, if you can get your evidence of life forms and your EDPs, your ecclesiastical deed polls, then you are going to be in business, and I will show you how to file them things at a later date. But if you get your ecclesiastical deed poll and your evidence of life, trust me, things will change for you. I remember my brothers were called Master. Exactly, Carol. We've all been subjected to this system, but in fairness, the system does give us fair warning of how to get out. It does, but we fail to realise because we're not taught properly anymore. We are a secular nation of the Babylonian beast, mate. I can't argue with that. We certainly are. God give me a good soul and an intuitive soul, and someone that questions everything. Just look at Whitty Hancock and the other government mouthpieces. Their eyes look soulless. They are. They're soulless people. Anybody in the power and positions that we've placed and trusted in these people that abuse us, you've got to be thinking, well, treason does carry a death penalty, and whether that will ever happen, I don't know. There are big plans in January from groups of people, not from me, just from what I'm hearing, that there are big plans to start taking over the heart of the beast, which is Downing Street and Parliament. So, God willing, that might happen, and it needs to happen. You know, it really, the Babylonian beast needs to be ended. We need to get back to being a people where we love each other, where we look out for one another, where we don't have homelessness, where we don't have food banks, where we're just decent people doing decent things for one another. Come on, we can do it. We owe it to each other. We really do. But we're not Christian. I am through and through. My whole heart is totally in God's kingdom, absolutely. And because it's an insurance policy, you know, people fail to realise that your soul is the thing that you have to protect. You have to protect your soul because the Bible says you're given 3 school years and 10. Right, so if you're lucky, you get to 78 and then you slip out this quill. It's all about where your soul goes, whether you face instant death or whether your soul goes to the kingdom of heaven. Now, in the latter part of Revelation, if you read the latter part of the book of Revelation, you will actually see what happens and what God's kingdom's like, what it's all about, what you're going to do there, what it's made out of. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful, and I can't see why anyone wouldn't want to go there. It's all about us really as souls trying to find our way home. Do you know you was bought for a price by Jesus? He paid for you 3 days. The thing with Jesus is, I think that Jesus was the original free man of the land. He pretty much despised the church, although he is going to come back for his bride, and I don't think it's too far away. I really don't, because this world's become so wicked. And remember, a day in the eyes of the Lord is 1,000 years. And he said, you know, in the blink of an eye I shall return. And you know, we might have 1,000 years here, but in the eyes of the Lord, it's a day. So Jesus, in the eyes of the Lord, Jesus only been dead a couple of days, right? Something's happening. There is an energetic thing that's happening, and we need, if we want to see the kingdom, we have to live by His law. When you're reborn, you know you're not dead. Absolutely, absolutely. In Eastern Europe, they put their corrupted MPs in wheelie bins. I did see that. That was fantastic. And people say, well, it's not a Christian thing to do. Do you honestly believe that what these politicians are doing to us right now is Christian? It's not. And it's not any faith-driven agenda. Whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, whether you're Hindu, whether you're whatever, none of this, what they're doing is got any decency and any correlation with God's law. None of it. This is the law of probably the Codex Gigas, the Devil's Bible. So if none of you have ever seen the Codex Gigas, you might want to go and have a look at what the Codex Gigas is. It's a very nefarious. It's the Devil's Bible. I'd say the earth is running alongside that. Everyone get a chance to go to heaven. Not everyone will get to stay. Phil Connolly, Abel Danger, yeah, CEO of the Children's Crusade, Kirk's Law Corner. Where we go one, we go all. Bless your heart. Assumption, how you doing, sweetheart? Lovely to see you. God bless you for tuning in. Any work, Dave? Or you finished now? No, I'm finished now, Trev. I'm just going to go and try and see a solicitor later, just down the road from me, to do my one of my documents, just get him to witness it up, and then I can go down to the courts and get them filed in. Iceland got rid of their government and bankers. We have to do the same. They did. Although I'm not too sure where Iceland is at the moment. Now, I remember the Icelandic revolution was in 2013. And the guy that did it actually was a gay guy called Gunter, I think. And after he did what he did with the people and got them all to wear pink things, because he was obviously gay and he needed to know that people were tuning into him and not just plants, he left the country, went back to Germany. He said, look, we've done it. I'll give you back your country and enjoy it, but I'm going back to Germany. I don't think he was naturally Icelandic, but that doesn't matter. The point is this: they got their politicians to step down, and they did it with pots and pans. They didn't do it with machine guns. They didn't do it with bullets. And that's what the police and that fail to understand in this country. Violence gets you nowhere. You can have as many handcuffs and machine guns as you like, but let me tell you, when the people in this country decide to descend on you and change you and swap you out, you're fucked. It's true. You're going to be fucked. So we'll wait and see. That is wrong in the eyes. The day is a day, and he is the only way to accept that. He paid bills. Don't believe in millions of years. Believe what Bible tells you. Evolution is a lie. Evolution is a lie. Yeah, I've got no time for evolution. I think it says in the Bible, a day in the eyes of the Lord is 1,000 years is one day. Does it not say that? It does say that. Carol, Georgina, yeah, we need their book on how they did it. There's a private conversation going on. I can't get out with it. One rabbit hole. I haven't gone down their religion yet. Each their own. Etymology, British, just people of the covenant, Britain, the land of the covenant, honour the covenant. Well, you should be honouring the covenant. Yeah, big time. I do. I try to every single day, but we all fall short of the glory, every single one of us. Iceland crashed their councils, lost loads of money. Someone told them, you invest in Iceland. Strangely enough, there was a guy called Nick Vickers, worked for Kent County Council, lives in Kent. I used to play golf with Nick, and we were walking down a fairway, a golf course called Red Livets, one day up near Brands Hatch, and it was a sunny day. And he said, I'm off to Iceland tomorrow, David. I went, oh, what's that for? He said, to get £50 million back. I went, oh, who for? He said, Maidstone Borough Council invested £50 million in Icelandic Bank. I went, oh, did they? I said, shouldn't they have give that £50 million back to the people? What are you doing investing? That's not right. And here's the thing for me. Kent County Council invested £50 million in this Icelandic bank while we've got homelessness, people starving, while councillors invest £50 million of people's trusted money that they've given them, their private equity, they've given it to these councillors and they're investing it. What they should have done, if they had a surplus of 50 million, is said, listen, people in our area, because we're clean and because we do things in properly, in trust, we've got £50 million surplus. What do you want us to do? Do you want to have a year off without contributing, or do you want it back? Oh, no. These councillors deal in dead men's bones. They're evil people. And they will send their police round to kick your door in, smash your back doors in, kick you out of your house and take it over, whilst they're investing £50 million of your money. Well, this Nick didn't know what to say to me, because I said to him, you're out of order. You shouldn't be mugging people off like that. And that's why they've all got dirty hands. All councillors, all councils are dirty. They're dirty, they're filthy. I'm fed up with them. And you should all be fed up with them, because they're scuppering you lot like you've got no tomorrow. But look, we need to stay high in vibration. We need to figure a way through. The EDP and the EOL is the way through. If you find yourself copies online, ecclesiastical deed poll and evidence of life, once you've got them and you've printed them off, I will go through privately with you how to fill them out and how to get them into the system, all right? And you will be left alone. We have to rise from the dead. The living shall rise from the dead. Check Kent Hoovering for Truth on this day is a day and was created in 6 days, real days. Check Kent Hoovering. Oh, he's a minister. He's an American. I know who you're talking about. He's a nice guy, actually, Kent. Radio 4 has the treacherous, treasonous, traitor TV voice. Well, we can listen. We can do one or two things with the TV. We can either watch it or switch it off. We can either listen to the radio or switch it off. We can either buy the newspapers and read the newspapers, or decide to leave them on the shelves. We can either decide to go to Asda's and do our food shopping, but not buy jumpers, wrapping paper, pens and paper, or we can boycott the whole store and go somewhere else. And guess what? If you did that, Asda's tomorrow would be selling jumpers and thingy, because if you think they hold the power, ladies and gentlemen, they don't. You hold the power, and by you going and shopping at these places, you are giving them the green light to carry on. But if you say, no, I ain't doing this, they stop. They have to stop, because you've got the amount of pressure on these top businesses. JD Sports has now said we're shutting all our shops down. The guy that owns JD Sports has been buying up so many bits and pieces over the years that must be just an absolute wrangle around his neck. And I don't know whether that comes short for him. I mean, it does say Babylon will fall, so we'll see. But these people have just got too greedy, too powerful, and now they're just beating up the little people. You know, I consider myself to be a little man living in this world compared to all these big corporations. And when you've got a police force and corporations that are going to come into your home, bash you over the head with this and that because they don't like what you're doing, you've got to start questioning what's going on. You have to question what's going on. I was a parish councillor, says Aurora Storm, and nepotism and arse licking was rampant. If this happens in a tiny parish, imagine the effing swamp in the upper tiers rented. Yeah, mate, listen, you felt it, right? I don't know what parish council you was in. My parish council, there are a few decent ones in there. And funnily enough, a couple of years ago, I had to drop some paperwork down. So I did some work for the local parish. And I dropped it into this guy, and he was so arrogant and rude. And I said to him, I can't remember what I said to him, but it kind of cut him a little bit. And that was it. The way he was talking to me, and I looked him in the eyes and I said, "Listen to me, mate. I'm not a piece of shit that you've just scraped off your shoe." And he sat right up in his fucking chair, and he was very polite after that. Why do we bow to these people? Why do we bow to these authoritarian figures? I'll never forget years ago when I got divorced from my first wife. I'm now on my 17th. My ex-wife said, "Let's go for counselling." So we went down. I was half-hearted, you know. I was half-hearted, and I'm sat there, and there's about 4 or 5 people sat in these chairs, and they're all looking at me like this with their clipboards, and they're, you know, worthier than thou, the new church. And my ex-wife sat here, bless her heart, and she started bashing off, and these people were all going, oh dear, oh dear. And I thought, oh well, just sit here. I took it, you know, shrugged my shoulders, and they started having a go at me. "Well, Dave, you know, do you realise what this and that?" I said, "Listen, guys, I don't know none of you. I've never met any of you in my life, and let's be honest, we're only here so you can collect your 30 pieces of silver." So I got the 30 quid or 70 quid. This is 1989, by the way, and I give it to them. I threw it on the floor in front of them. I said, "Thanks very much for your time. You can pick it up off the floor." Evil people. They didn't know me. What do they know about me and my wife? "Oh, but we've got to go for counselling because the state party says you need counselling." The state party tells you how to live. The state party tells you what you can do, when you can't cross the road, what shops you can go in, what food you can eat, what clothes you can wear, what energy companies you can get your energy from. It's got to stop. It's all about control. All the way through is about control. Sign here, boss, driving license. Well, yeah, you sign a driving license, but what you don't do, you think that you sign a driver license, right, because you're now proficient to use God's roads, the roads that were gifted to you at birth. You fail to realize that you've given up all of your God-given rights at that point. You fail to realize that. And what you fail to realize is that in some point in the future, if the state don't like what you've done, you've signed that contract, and that contract means that they're going to have men and women in uniform that can bash you over the head, that can beat you up, that can taser you, that can use anal beads on you down the cells and strip you naked. And they deem you belligerent. Well, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, belligerent is a military term. This is a common law nation, right? Apparently so. I met the guy who started the Pots and Pans movement. Bless him. Did he come to Dublin to support our Protest 5? Is it Gunther? What was his name? He was a German gay guy, and he's a lovely, lovely guy. To support our protest 5 years ago, he was so down to earth and normal. He told us it starts with just one person. Amen. People have always said, you know, what do you think you can do? And whenever I talk to anyone that's whinging and moaning in a pub or whatever, and I say, well, you know, you've got a good voice, why don't you do something about it? They go, well, what can I do? I'm just me. And I'm like, you've not got the right mentality. The mentality is that this is your world, your domain, your kingdom, and you can do what the fuck you like. And if you want to start up something and you want to take back control and get rid of the fucking tyranny, you best get out and do it. Nothing can stop you. No force on this earth can stop you. Not a chance. So people, we need to come together, right? We need unity. In my local group this morning, there's a guy out there saying, if all this tier lockdown, if I see anyone stood next to me in the shop, I'm going to tell them to jog on. And I'm like, listen, what you should all realise is that you're all part of the same race, and that if you're all having a go at one another because you won't wear a mask, you're carrying out the will and the wish of a government. Now, because I love you all so much, why don't you look at actually sharing knowledge and information and wisdom on things of how to keep yourself healthy, how to stop eating shit and taking good minerals and vitamins and good foods to keep your immune system boosted. And then you will see through this nonsense, right? But oh no, they're just wanting to take pieces out of each other. And we've now got people prepared to stab each other because they're not wearing a mask. And they're all so debased in their energy. They're all in this fear. I work in care, Dave. It's so hard for me. I work 10 hours a day. God bless you, Andy Davies. Listen, we all walk our own paths, man. If you have to wear a mask, you have to wear a mask. I'm not suggesting, by the way, that this COVID thing isn't happening. It is. But does it warrant this complete lockdown? Does it warrant this complete draconianism? No, because what I think, if people are in a position of trust, i.e. coppers, firefighters, nurses, this, that, the other, carers, all the great souls that are out there, it should just be about your willingness and your wanting to help another soul. All right. And if you get remuneration and get a few quid in the meantime, that's all fantastic. But this is all about control now. This is all about you will not see your family on Christmas Day. You will stay at fucking home. You will not travel from Kent to Sussex. You will not travel from Kent to Essex. If you do, we've got our Wehrmacht out there and they will stop you and they will fine you. That is treason. That is high treason. What should be happening is we should have people in power or people in positions of trust that go, right, listen, we need to be there for the people because the people are our liege lords. They live their lives and we have to be there to remedy them. So if they get ill, we're going to do our best to try and make them straight, right? We should not have this draconian measure. We should not have Boris telling us we can't go out. We should not have none of this. But what we should have is people there going, if they need us, we're here. We will try our hardest to help them and to bolster their life and to make their life better. That's it. That's all you should have. Anyone that works in any public domain, what is a bus there for? A bus is there because you don't want to walk 5 miles down the road to go to your mate's house. So the bus should be there as a privilege for you to get on, to take you down the road in that little chariot for you to get off. But oh no, you can't get on a public transport now without wearing one of these masks and stuff. Achtung bitte, it's all about control. And now these supermarkets are saying, well, you're not coming in there, exemption's not going to matter. You're going to have to wear one of these face visors. So now you're going to see rolling out very soon that you're not going to be able to walk into a supermarket and say you're exempt. And the real sad part about this is everyone's turning on one another. Everyone in these shops, they don't know each other, but they're more than prepared to go over and have a dig at someone because they won't wear a mask. Yeah, they're turn them inside out, they turn them upside down, and Lord knows, you know, the amount of violence that must be going on out there, the punch-ups that must be going on. And why is this happening? Because the TV's told you so. Because the radio's told you so, because the newspapers have put so much fear into people. I get it, I understand. I really do. What's that got goosebumps? DavidIke.com. Is that the one you're talking about above there, Jeez? I'll have a look at that in a minute. I'm doing what I like when I like. They don't own me. I'm a free spirit and free I will stay. God bless you, Cat. We need more people like you. Trust me, we do. It's about being respectful. I haven't paid road tax for 4 years and never got stopped, nor me. Yeah, but them rules Bono brought out. Oh, let me see who that is. I might have to go. I'll disappear. I'll come back in a bit. Love you. Hello? Yes, Mum. Yeah, you.